The following podcast is a W2M Network original production. Visit W2Mnet.com for all of our other great podcasts, plus news, reviews, articles, and opinions from the worlds of wrestling, video games, football, and entertainment.
Hello and welcome to another Video Games to the Max. Of course, this is the official video games podcast of W2Net.com, and we are also in partnership with ForumMania.com as well. I'm your host, Sean Garmer, and here with me is, as always, Mr. Marc Morrison.
Howdy.
Well, it's been a little bit. How have things been for you?
Decent. I beat the first ending of Shadow of War.
Hey, just in time for the Season Pass announcement that we'll talk about in a little bit.
So. I don't care about at all.
You don't care about it at all. Wait, so does that mean that you do not really care to keep playing the game then, or?
No, the way the game wraps up and then, like pumps itself up or, extends itself out, like, falsely, just makes me really turn off from the game. Like, it leaves a bitter taste in my mouth.
What do you mean, where it extends itself falsely?
Well, after you beat, like, the main, like, Sauron, like, you have the fight, it's like, okay, now here are 10 waves of orc invasions against your fortresses. You're going to be too low level to really do anything against them. So get to grinding.
That's always fun when something makes you just feel like you're grinding.
Well, you're done with the story missions, so you can't get more experience from that. Like, I beat the game at level 43 or 44, and I'm facing orcs that are level 55. And, you can kill them, sure, but you can't control them or dominate them because they're higher level than you. So it's like, okay, now I'm screwed.
Waste of time after that.
Yeah. And that's how you unlock, like, the good ending, too, or, like, the actual ending of the game.
Oh, that makes it even less worth going back to then.
Yeah.
At that point.
And it is somewhat tied into their loot box system, so that makes it all the more fun.
Oh boy, we'll get to talk about those too, because the UK actually has to go look to see if those can be considered gambling or not. But we'll get in that in a second here. So I mentioned that, since we're already talking about Shadow of War, that season pass, it's probably going to cost somewhere around $40.
Yeah, I mean, the code I got was like for the gold edition, so it came with it. But every season pass is there $40 or $50 nowadays.
So it includes 2 new tribes of orc. One called the Slaughter Tribe, that basically means they want to kill you at every moment, basically. And then the Outlaws, that have deep contempt for foreign invaders, as well as the Lord of Mordor. And there's 2 story expansions. One where you're playing Eluriel, who's the Light of Galadriel. I'm probably butchering all these names.
Galad. No, it's Galadriel, but same thing.
And then there's also the Desolation of Mordor as well. So hey, you get 2 story expanses along with your tribes of orcs, and you do not care. So.
No, because the experience ramp is so broken right now that, like, I think I got like 1 experience doubler for like an hour, and it's like, that does me nothing. I need 80,000 experience to get to the new level, and I'm getting 500 experience from a fight. So No, thank you.
Would you get more if, say, you killed your nemesis or whatever?
No.
It's all just 500 every time?
Well, some missions are like 1,000 or, but they're so infrequent that it doesn't really matter.
Well, so
Like,
basically you're saying that they try to get you to go to the loot boxes then?
yeah, but even at a certain point, those stop meaning because you can't get orcs like above your level. So if I open up a loot box right now, I'm going to get like level 43 orcs, and it's like, okay, this orc is going to do nothing against this level 65 dude.
So you're kind of just stuck.
Yeah, like there's also a weird system where you can like submit an orc to fight in like an arena fight where you just watch like two orcs fight each other, which is really dumb and stupid. And it's like a 3-minute fight, and you just sit there watching it, like no impact at all from you. It's like this is worthwhile.
So
and
do you get anything for?
You get a bunch of skill points, and you get like some money and like occasionally like some like gem or something. But one of the fights is like one of the areas. It's like there are 3 levels to each area. Like you fight maggots first, then like a general captain, then like an elite captain or whatever. And they're just named orcs and to fight the second captain of one area, he's a level 55 guy, and all my orcs are like 43, so they're gonna get wasted on him.
Right.
And you're just watching these fights happen, and it's like, what am I supposed to do? Just grind this out for 2 months?
I'm guessing that's what they want you to do. Just grind it out, get loot, keep going.
Good luck with that.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of people they either really like the game or they kind of just are kind of meh about it.
Well, I started writing the review, and my review is basically like, in some ways it's like better than the first Mordor, but in a lot of ways it's not. Or like they took a step back. Or
just more of Mordor and doesn't feel anything special.
No, it's really not. Like I don't know. I think I said last week, but I don't, or like the last time we did a podcast, but I don't know why it took them 3 years to make this game. Like that. I mean, they can bust out an Assassin's Creed game like they did that for damn near a decade every year, if not 2. And it's like, what happened?
No idea on that, but that's just really weird that it took them that long in order for them to. It seems like they made this. Oh, we'll just make more of the same. People loved it, and then we'll introduce the loot boxes, and we'll make back our money that way. And
also, one other fun thing was another part of the experience system is experience isn't tied to skill points. You get skill points from like completing quests or doing like the arena fights or just like doing whatever. So I have at the moment 20 extra skill points because nothing I can unlock is meaningful to me at all.
Right.
And it constantly says like, oh, unlocking the skill. It's like, why bother? I'm not going to use any of this crap.
What is it like? Just like defensive skills, or?
Well, every skill you get, there's like 3 modifiers. So you can get this. This is a story skill, so you unlock it automatically. You don't have to spend points. But it's like you pound the ground, and like it releases like a burst of energy or whatever, and you can modify it to be either fire, flame, or fire, poison, or frost. And it's like, I mean, I could, but it doesn't really do like none of these are really beneficial to me that much.
So you don't run into orcs that have like some kind of fire?
Oh, you do, but I already have different ways to like. If an orc is fireproof, I mean, I already have a move that can like that can like freeze them, so I don't need to put a point into the wave, and you can only have 1 modifier active per skill. So even if you do run into something, you have to like go into the menu, and then select the different modifier, and then it's like it takes forever.
So what you're saying is there's kind of no point of having fire, ice, and poison unlocked for all of them, because
Right.
it's not like
Or
you can't just move around. You can't just flip between all of them.
no,
Well, yeah.
and it takes forever to get in these menus. Like the menu for opening boxes, it takes like 30 seconds to actually open the box up, because it has to keep like connecting to the WB servers. And it's like, this is I have like 30 yeah, well, it's all online server checks and stuff, so it takes, but it just kills the momentum of that
That would
game.
make me not want to open the box.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I can understand why they did it, I guess, because they have to go through, and I guess they'll let the system know that you're opening a box. But, yeah, just, that stinks that they spent all that time, and it seems like it's more disappointing than like this great game that the first one was and everything else.
Yeah, like the first one, was a great Assassin's Creed or Batman clone, and this is still like the core gameplay is still fine, but the crap they've added around it just makes you not want to really engage with it that much.
And the game does it get hard at all, or just?
I mean, I died a bunch, but then you have infinite lives, or you just respawn, and all right, it's like, okay, let's do this again.
So I mentioned the loot boxes, and obviously, we've talked about some games that have this, and this is a rampant thing on mobile, especially where they want you to buy things. So in the UK, if you get over a certain amount of signatures, the government has to look at whatever it is. And so this adapt gambling laws to include gambling in video games which target children and vulnerable adults. While loot boxes are not currently considered gambling, they do copy a lot of traits of gambling, and actually go after being your addictive side and whatnot. So basically, this is also using that same law and wanting them to do the same thing like that law that got passed in China, where you have to reveal the frequency of what you get when you buy this certain loot box or whatever, if you're trying to get the the top thing, so that the chances of you getting whatever it is you're ultimately trying to buy. And the petition also notes basically that this sort of thing had been the standard in UK gambling for years, and is hoping that they can do it for video games. So this has kind of become a thing recently with all these games, and obviously mobile is huge with this sort of thing. So do you kind of agree that it does go after sort of addictive tendencies in people, and hoping that, like gambling, you'll just keep spending? Or
I would say, yeah. There was a great thing, I want to say Jonathan Blow said it, this was years ago, but he's basically said that, like, WoW is tantamount to gambling. Because, it's basically it's like a drug. Because it affects the same brain center that you would like spinning a roulette wheel, because that's all WoW kind of is. Like, you can do like a raid, but you might not get that piece of gear for like the first time. But if you keep doing it over and over, the 800th time you do it, it may finally drop for you. And it's the same thing with loot boxes.
well, yeah, I had friends growing up when WoW was obviously much newer.
Yeah.
Friends that dropped out of college and
So did I.
Yeah, did not continue on with like normal life because they got so hooked on WoW, and eventually their parents had to put them in some kind of rehab thing.
I had my roommate at I think my junior year of college. He left. Like, he went home for Christmas and he didn't come back because of WoW. And I had another good friend who I'm still friends with now. He kind of failed out of college because he just didn't go to class because he kept playing WoW constantly. And like after that happened, he had to give up WoW like cold turkey. Like he doesn't play it at all anymore. He hasn't played it in like a decade.
Yeah, I mean that shows your sort of.
And like
Go ahead.
even now, he's pretty like hesitant to get on like online or MMO type gaming because I think he's afraid of like getting back into that mindset or something, which is probably accurate.
Well, yeah, I mean if you played a game so long that it basically kept you from doing anything but like eating and going to the bathroom, and maybe even eating as a only when my stomach is telling me you're gonna stop, not be able to play WoW anymore because you better give me something. If
Yeah,
you're getting to that extreme, uh, it very much is like drugs or alcohol or other kinds of gambling where you're giving up you're in there, you go, oh, I'm going to only spend $20. The next thing you know, you're gambling away your house and the car you got there in and everything else.
yeah.
So
I think there was uh, some Mass Effect Bioware statistic where they said someone spent like $15,000 on Mass Effect 3 booster pack cards,
good
and it's
lord.
like, holy Christ! Like imagine if that person had gotten like a good multiplayer game, like what would happen?
I wonder if Blizzard will ever release like what the people that are just crazy and buy packs of Hearthstone cards.
Oh no, they'll never do like
It
that. And Overwatch boxes, forget it.
Yeah, like I'm sure that there are people that it's not even like the in with Hearthstone it's bad because they keep changing the system around and then they'll add more DLC stories or whatever, so that gratification never really ends because once they change the meta around, you're once again having to buy stuff to get whatever card is now the major thing that helps you win, or what. There's people that are addictive like that are crazy,
Oh
but
yeah,
it's ugh.
but that like Hearthstone specifically, that's all like back to like Magic the Gathering cards, like having to
Yeah.
buy booster packs, and hope you get like the Black Lotus card in it or something, or some special rare card out of like 50 packs make it what one card you want, and that's about it.
Yeah, I mean, I bought, I think, like the first two DLC stories, and then I've probably bought a couple of cards. I stopped playing after that, but it's because I've had either friends do the WoW thing, or I've been with someone that had a drug addiction really really bad, and I've seen that firsthand. So I'm always very hesitant about. I don't know that I want to get in this game, and I played WoW for a little bit, and I could see what people's thing was, right? Where you
I
could play something and sit there and you don't even realize 6 hours went by.
Oh yeah, I'm honestly surprised like loot boxes haven't come to WoW yet. Like I'm sure it's actually just a matter of time. Like it'd probably piss off like the hardcore fan base, but well, they'll still think, what are they going to do? They're not going to play any other game. Like they're just going to keep playing WoW.
Yeah, it's it's just something I think people do need to consider about it. I don't know if it will happen in this country where they'll examine that as gambling or not, but
Oh no,
uh,
like I think gaming has too much of a stranglehold, or like
yeah,
and like legislators just don't care about the type of stuff.
yeah, that's true too. It would have to be some kind of widespread, like kids are not going to school, or if parents just find that you know somehow they're overriding their parental control and the kids are just spending ridiculous amounts of money or
I mean
whatever because they have to have it.
that you see stories pop up from time to time, like Facebook games and stuff, but or like mobile games like Clash of Clans or something. But
Yeah, I've heard
like
Clash of Clans is at the point where if you basically can't even play it if you want to be good at it at all without buying something.
yeah, wouldn't surprise me.
That's just crazy to me. But that brings up something that I've heard a lot in listening to podcasts and reading of the thought of, is it time to raise game prices? Like, do we
No,
just raise game prices to $70 now so that this stuff maybe stops? And
no.
the gaming industry says, okay, well, we're making more every time we make a sale, so.
Well, it's funny you should talk about that. I watched a video I think like a week and a half ago. This guy was looking at, I want to say, a 1993 Toys R Us ad, like the whole like Christmas ad, I think.
Mm.
And games were the same prices as they were still $60. In fact, ironically, sports games were more expensive. They were $70.
Yeah, I remember the Nintendo 64 like college basketball game was like $75.
Like I don't know too many people who are going to pay $70 to play Bill Lambert's basketball game.
Well, no, but I'm saying like, I think back then also you were talking about carts, right? Carts were more expensive.
Oh yeah, but I mean, these games were more expensive than like Earthbound or Chrono Trigger. Like,
Yeah, I think it's people. There was no regulator in the market either, where
no.
you had just where you'd say, okay, it's gonna be $60 whether you like it or not. And if you don't, then don't make this game because, you can make it less than that if you want, but don't make it more without it being some kind of special edition or.
I mean, they could try that now, but like if they made the next Call of Duty $70, they could try it. I mean, it'd still sell, but not as well, obviously, and people would obviously complain about it more.
Yeah, either way, people are going to complain, right? If you add in the microtransactions, people are going to complain. If you raise the price, people are going to complain. So,
I mean, honestly, though, between the two, I'd rather pay. Like, I'd pay more for a game if it was a better experience, or like the complete experience, so I wouldn't be hounded to death.
oh, I agree
Like,
with you.
like I would if it came to PC tomorrow and I could afford it, I would happily pay $20 for Plants vs Zombies 2, but it never will because they made it a mobile game that was free to play that had microtransactions and they fucked it all up.
Yeah, I get you there. I, it's just that's the thing, though, right? It's so hard to make a AAA game now with.
Yeah, but like every game doesn't need to be a AAA game. That's the
No, it doesn't. But those AAA publishers need to make money, right?
like I would be
So.
happy. I would be happier with a scaled down game. I'd be happy like Uncharted. That's a 6-hour game. I mean, I paid $60 for it, but I didn't sell it back. Like I still have it. Like I had a better like if that had been a 40-hour game, I would have lost interest in hour 10 and said screw it, never finished it.
Right, yeah, but I think that's the point, though, is that they had to keep finding reasons to
Or
have us
like,
keep games because so many people will say, okay, well, something like Uncharted, why am I going to play this over and over and over? I already
well,
experienced the story.
if I got the digital version of Shadow of War. If
Right.
I had a physical version, I would be signing that game back right now because of how the ending is.
And
Like
that's fair.
I think that's why, honestly, like a lot of developers just send us digital copies right now.
Oh, well, no, well, yeah, number one is that reason. Like, I'll be honest, like, both you and I went through this experience, right, of when all they did was send physical copies. The one good thing about it is it gave you an incentive to take a bad game because you knew when you'd played enough of it and you were already going to write the review, you could just go to GameStop and
Oh yeah,
take the thing back.
it's
Now
like
a lot of
here's
places have a you cannot return the game policy, period. But
well, it's like here's a game that's been out for 2 weeks. You already finished the review. It's like all right, well, I'm gonna get $30 for this, hopefully. So here you go.
yeah, exactly. You could basically go and already have half the money to a game you actually wanted. So,
And honestly, that was like the secret way of getting paid as a game reviewer. Like, we're not doing this shit for money, really. Like, so it's like, yeah, take the Lego movie video game. It's like, I'll review that. That took 2 days. It's like, and GameStop can have it for $25.
hey, sweet. I can buy. If I can spend only $20 or $30 on the game that I wanted or whatever. Yeah, I mean but we also got to think about it from the other perspective of every time we trade in a game, that's a game that those publishers get nothing back from.
Yeah, except the exposure that we give it, for good or for bad. Like, even games that I've traded in.
Right? Yeah, I agree. I've done the same thing. I feel like they're doing it basically because digitally they also don't have to pay to ship you the game.
Oh yeah, I mean it's much easier. Like, I'm not gonna like, that's one positive. Like, you can get a game, 5 minutes. Like, you get the email and say who wants it, or here's the code, have at it. But
yeah, exactly. The game comes out, or a couple days before the game comes out, hey, here's the code to this game, and then you download it, and bam, it's right there. Instead of, oh, I gotta wait till they get to the mail, and they gotta make sure, like what happened with me in Mario Kart. Nintendo had to make sure so bad that it didn't get there before Friday that day that it wound up not coming till like Wednesday of next week.
Yeah.
So that's another thing too, that sometimes they get so, some places don't care, some places do, that they have to make sure it gets to you on this certain day.
Yeah, for the embargo.
Right, yeah, for the embargo. And, it is how it is. But, yeah, this is just, I think, an interesting thing I've been hearing more and more about. Is it time for games to just become $70? And I'm like, well, that all sounds great in theory, right? A lot of us, if we're...
I mean, it sounds good in theory, but they're not gonna stop any of this shady shit from going on. Like, games are still gonna have loot boxes or season passes or DLC, so it's not gonna solve anything.
I think that's what they're thinking, though, is that, okay, well, a lot of people are already buying the season pass, or they're already buying these extra little, things that we give out, that cosmetic things, and that winds up being like $5, $10. Well, if they're already spending it, then why not just put it inside the game as unlocks, and then you pay your $70 instead?
Yeah.
And yeah, I just think that, I don't know. If it does happen, I'd imagine it would be whenever the next console cycle is officially starting. I don't think you would do it now. But
I think it's too late in this generation cycle, but I honestly just don't think it'll happen. I mean, unless there's like some cataclysmic shift in the landscape, that if it just won't happen without too many people complaining about it.
Yeah, but you know how people are, though, right? I mean, unless it's something like, what happened with NeoGAF, it's a lot of complaining and not really doing anything. So, people complain online, but then here comes that game that they really wanted. It's $70. They'll still go buy it.
Yeah.
I don't even remember the story about the thing with the person on NeoGAF, but I do commend the people that said that they didn't want to be a part of that anymore after the whole scandal. So.
Well, he was accused of sexually harassing women.
Right. Yeah. Okay. I knew it had to do something with harassment, but it's like.
Well, it's funny because one story, the one really clear, crystal clear story, he's like, that story's fake, and then there's a post people dug up about him literally harassing another woman in a foreign country, and it's like, yeah, sure, you're the paragon of virtue right there.
Didn't they shut it down for a couple days, and then he just said, okay, I'm reopening it?
Yeah, it
And
shut down like Saturday night, and then it stayed shut down till like Sunday and part of Monday, I think, or something. I don't know. I don't go to that site, so it doesn't bother
I
me.
don't either. I just think that that's really shitty for somebody to. Oh, I'm not even going to take any responsibility for this at all. I'm just going to act like nothing happened and move
Yeah,
on.
like if
It's,
he had any honor or anything, I mean, he'd just quit. But that's a little fiefdom, so of course he's not going to.
yeah, it's again, people just don't. And then there was the one from the person that worked at Naughty Dog that said that he got harassed, and then Sony apparently fired him the next day.
I think that might have they that happened. I think that was more like an HR. Like I think it might have been like some specific HR thing. Like I think if higher ups at Sony had known, that wouldn't have happened. But
Well, you know how HR doesn't always. Most of the time, HR is not really there to be your. They're not there to be your counselors. They're there to protect the company from.
oh yeah,
How do we avoid getting sued?
yeah,
Oh well, if this guy's saying that one of the managers is sexually harassing him, or harassing him, doesn't have to be sexually. Uh, let's see what his story is, and if we can pass it off as him being crazy or whatever, then we can, and we let him go and see if he'll sign a cease and desist or NDA later, which they tried to do. He didn't sign it, and yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised because now all of a sudden after the Harvey Weinstein thing, a lot of people are all of a sudden coming out against other people
oh yeah.
saying that they were harassed. I wouldn't be surprised if it really did happen, and at the time, companies are different than they are now. So it's a much different, I think, situation in 2017 than it was uh, many years ago. So, anything else that you are playing here?
Uh, I got that Wipeout Omega collection on PS4. I'm bad at Wipeout, so that bums me out. uh,
Not
and
the
I got
easiest racing game to play, Wipeout.
huh?
I said not the easiest game to play, Wipeout. It's you gotta
No, and I can't get a handle on their like air brake system at all. Like it, I understand the idea of it, but I just don't grasp how to actually do it well.
So does it make you feel bad for spending the $24 then, or?
No, because like Wipeout it's a long running like PlayStation franchise, but it's not exactly a popular one or like one that is doing well.
Right, it's kind of like Nintendo's F-Zero.
Yeah. So, and I like that type of game, so I'm happy to support it just for that, and it looks nice, but that's about it. And the only other thing I've been playing is Synchronicity Prelude.
Which is
This is a Atlas made 2D platformer they released like a week ago for free. You play as Jack Frost and Pyro Jack from like the Shin Megami Tensei series. It's a 2D platformer.
okay.
It's a Metroidvania.
Okay,
It's really cool.
awesome. Is
It's
it
all in Japan.
still available?
Oh yeah, it's going to be free till the end of the year essentially,
Okay.
and it's all in Japanese. But someone released like a modded texture, modded like language pack for like English, which is helpful.
Hey, at least you can read what's being said, right?
Yeah, but it's a cool little game. Like you have different powers, and you have to find find here's a magic key that opens all the black doors you couldn't visit before, and stuff like that.
Well, that's cool. That's cool. And that seemed like a just random announcement too. It just kind of came out of nowhere.
Yeah, well, they released a video of it, and they said like it was never going to happen, and then people were pissed, and
Ah,
then like 2 days later, they're just like, here, it's out now. It's like, you could have just solved this by releasing it 2 days beforehand.
Yeah, really, guys, come on, don't have to judge that way. But hey, at least it's out there.
Yeah, it's like, this isn't like a wrestling promo. Like, just
Yeah,
release it when
no
you
bait and
want.
switch here.
Yeah.
So nothing to do with wrestling, but I did play just because there's so much stuff coming out in like a day, not to mention like a week, and thankfully after like a week and a half, I think, that kind of slows down and you get into we're back to, there's some couple of big games in November, but not that many. So you have the triple triumvirate coming out on Friday. Two of them, which I already purchased, and the other one I may wind up having to purchase too. So, South Park is one of those games that is on my, if I get birthday money, I guess maybe. So they did release a demo a couple of days ago, and it basically lets you play through the first, I want to say like a couple of hours of the game. You get to see the opening and kind of how the speak goes from Stick of Truth to the new series. And I laughed a couple times. The obsession with toilets is still there. um, and it was funny because it's South Park, so I had to like feel bad that my daughter was sitting there watching me play this. And she's old enough to sort of understand that these curse words, because when I get mad at a car when I'm driving, she tells me no, don't say those things. So she knows not to, but it's still something where you just feel weird, like with Cartman just yelling "fuck this" and all constantly. Like the code to get into the base is you know "fuck you, mom" or something.
Yeah.
It's like I was like, oh god, this is just great South Park here. But yeah, you create your character and then you get to test out the superhero stuff. I don't know. Maybe it's just me because I'm an RPG guy, and I like turn-based strategy RPGs too. Don't get me wrong, but I don't really see what the big difference is between making it a strategy RPG as opposed to the not
Turn-based.
strategy. It's still
Well,
turn-based. It just has the little squares instead of just straight up, old Final Fantasy style, I guess.
yeah. Well, I assume because it can position like healers behind you, like behind your front, your tank or something. But it's a it's a weird choice. Like I looked at videos of that battle system, and it's like that. I mean, it's fine, but I like the old one more. I'm gonna say.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, I don't mind it. Like, it still works. And again, it's like it's not that much of a departure. You're just moving the guy to a square or girl,
Yeah.
and you choose your attack like you would. And obviously, it only goes a certain amount of squares, which that's the thing, the strategy part of it. And you don't get to in the demo you don't get to battle with anybody else, so you don't get the experience of how it is to have a partner and how that is to control another person in your party. But you do you do get to figure out the basics for yourself and all that, so that's kind of cool. Then you you unlock Instagram and then it shuts off after that.
Yeah.
So from what I've heard, just people and what I've read, just it seems like it's more South Park. Just this one seems a lot easier. So that's a thing where it doesn't really get that hard.
This one seems a lot more like recent South Park, which would kind of actually turn me off.
That's not good. Yeah, the other one was going more into like the older
Yeah,
stuff.
which I mean I like more. I would say like I mean personally.
Yeah, like I like superhero stuff and all that. So like the topic doesn't that intrigues me. It's just like you said, yeah. Any of the references or whatever, I'm not gonna get because it's been a long time since I watched South Park. So
Or like
yeah,
a good example, like PC Principle, like that is a very lame joke that
yeah,
they have made into like a major character, and it's like why?
because everybody has to be PC now.
I'm surprised there's not some character like yelling about Gamergate or something in that game.
Uh, who knows? It could be. Maybe somebody just kind of brushed it off and didn't pay
Yeah,
attention to it. But I also did get the Dot Hack remaster collection thing
you're
for
welcome.
PC. Yeah, thanks to Mark, I guess, not taking it. I had to figure out the Windows 10 bug that happens with some games, at least on my PC and other people's PCs. So today I had a busy day after work, so I haven't been able to. I've played like the tutorial part of the first game, and it pretty much plays like uh, I want to say like the Tails, where you can move the person around and press the attack button different ways to, and then if you like knock them down, you can do your special attack or whatever. That's about as far as I got. So it really does try. Yeah, obviously, it's set. If you have no idea what the Dot Hack series is, which I think it's very appropriate that Bandai also made sure that Crunchyroll started getting the series now, so you can watch the animes. Because what's weird is the the anime and the game have a tie-in, but there's parts of the anime only takes you so far. You actually have to play the games to get more of the story. It was like really sort of a neat thing in the PS2. These are also PS2 games, by the way. For some reason, you don't know what these are, but like, yeah, and the graphics pretty much look like souped up. Sort of like the PS4 remasters on PS2. I, you know, there's not even a. I didn't notice a slider or anything to mess with the graphics, so they must just have it set in one format. At least with the first game, anyway. I don't know if the other ones they allow you to have the slider,
I doubt it. It's probably just like here you go.
which is fine. That makes it to where it runs on more computers, so that's good in a way too, I guess. It automatically detected my like. It doesn't even have an option, I think, for you to play on the uh, with keyboard and mouse. It automatically detected my gamepad and was giving me the stuff in press Y, press the
Yeah,
D-pad, So, uh, but yeah, that's it for me. Sort of as far as playing anything. I'll next time I'll be able to say more about actually what's in those games because I'll have played them. But yeah, so speaking of games that people may or may not play, Metal Gear Survive, that Metal Gear Left 4 Dead sort of game that Konami revealed uh, not too long ago, is coming out February 20th, 2018 to the US. And if you get it on day one, you get a survival pack bonus, which has a bunch of cosmetic stuff and gold-plated weapons, extra gestures, scarf colors, kabuki face paint, and mother base nameplate. Oh yeah.
woo! Gonna go rush out and buy it.
I've seen gameplay. This doesn't look too bad, but I can understand the people of,
That's
if you're
because
really into the Metal Gear,
the gameplay of Metal Gear 5 was good. Like it's just the same. It's the same game engine. Like they didn't do anything to it. They just made it look uglier.
yeah, when it's not Kojima doing it, you're gonna notice some differences there. but I guess they tried. I don't know what to
Like
say
I
there.
am, I'm legitimately curious, like how well Metal Gear Solid 5's online did.
I'm surprised they have never released. Have they released numbers for that?
Oh God, no. Like you have to imagine that thing probably didn't do too well, and now they're banking on a game that's the whole point of the game is to be online and do this type of like stupid shit.
I
So
mean, it is coming out at a good time where a lot of these kind of games are out there.
yeah, I'm sure this is the game that's going to finally knock off GTA 5 off the leaderboards.
Oh yeah, you know it, or Destiny 2, or any of the other big. You know, PUBG is going to be quaking in their boots right now. With even though they really probably regret releasing that stupid statement about the oh damn it,
Fortnite.
what's it? Yeah, Fortnite, because all of a sudden their battle royale mode had like 7 million people or something playing it. So
Yep.
next time keep your mouth shut about people taking stuff from your game. People take stuff from games all the time.
Except
But
the
let's
Nemesis system.
yeah, except that I'm a system, which that's weird. That like nobody has decided to use that. Is the code just really complicated or something? Like
I have to imagine for most games it'd be kind of hard to implement. Like think about like a Batman game, like how they
right.
implement that type of system in that, or like even like an Assassin's Creed, like because the game is so focused on killing like specifically named characters, it'd be hard to just here's a grunt that's immune to batarangs. It's like okay.
Yeah, but couldn't they do that though, where you have like say, an elite grunt dude for every level or something, and they're the ones that come at you while you're also trying to kill Scarecrow or Joker or whatever.
I mean they could, but I think those characters like the especially like in Batman's case, like the character like the villains are too well known. Like why is this idiotic goon that's somehow immune to physical attacks but is weak against sonar batarangs attacking me when the Joker is just like standing there? I'd rather be punching him than this stupid idiot.
Right? Yeah. I mean that's the thing, right? And like Shadow of War, you can have all these different named orcs because at the end of the day they're just orcs,
Yeah.
and you really don't have those like iconic villains or whatever. But
Plus,
I mean, in Assassin's
it's all
Creed, you could do it, right? I mean, it's not like
yeah, but even that's based on historical figures,
right, yeah,
and
yeah.
those are
You'd
kind of
have
the two. Those are really the two big games that you could really try to implement a Nemesis system. Like you couldn't do it in like a Call of Duty or something because they tried last year. It didn't go over too well.
oh, another reason why last year still sold well. So I'm
Not
about
that
to say,
well.
the I could see him do it in like Pokemon, right? I mean, you could have
I mean,
certain.
trainers maybe, but I mean they kind of already like I don't think that would work
They actually
because
kind of already started. They already did that, where like you could call the trainer later, or if the trainer found you again, it was a more souped up version of that trainer, sort of matching your level.
yeah, but there's no
Uh,
cool decapitations in Pokemon, so who cares?
yeah, no, it's not that sort of, I guess, organic feeling of it, or
Finally make an omelet out of Togepi.
it's exactly what everybody wanted to do. But yes, I mean, so speaking on that, the whole feeling of multiplayer games and going away from single player in the case of Metal Gear Solid, at least for now. You have the thing with EA and them deciding to close Visceral Games and basically taking Amy Hennig's Star Wars project, which was supposed to be a single-player adventure game in the vein of Uncharted, and they are reshaping it to be a broader experience that allows for more variety and player agency, leaning into capabilities of our Frostbite engine and reimagining central elements of the game to give players a Star Wars adventure of greater depth and breadth to explore. This screams like, we want Star Wars Destiny.
Yeah. There are a few things to take away from this. Like, I think that Star Wars Uncharted would have been a cool idea, but Star Wars games don't do, like, look at like that 1313 game. Like, that didn't come out.
Wasn't that supposed to just be an RPG though?
No, that was like a bounty hunter game.
Oh, okay.
I think you were supposed to be like Boba Fett or something like that.
Right, yeah.
It's a shame about Visceral, kind of. Like, I think the Dead Space series was good, or like 1 and 2 were. Like, I think the writing was kind of on the wall when 3 came out.
Yeah, they changed a lot in 3.
Well, they added multiplayer. They added, like, DLC to that, which people didn't like, and microtransactions. But, like, EA had unrealistic sales expectations for that game. Like, I think Dead Space 1 sold, I think, 2 million copies, and then Dead Space 2 sold 4 million. So I think EA was like, oh, we're going to get 6 million copies from this game. It's like, no. Dead Space 3. It's like, first of all, that's generally not how sequels work.
Unless for GTA.
Yeah, but those aren't connected. Like, those are just, those are pretty much separate games. And then I think they also made Battlefront Hardline or Battlefield Hardline.
They contributed to the single player in Battlefield Hardline.
Yeah, it's like a yeesh. Good luck.
Which that was because the last thing they did before they were doing this. So.
Yeah, I think it's a shame. I think EA is just really lost as a company right now. Like, I think I was joking to you about it online, but like all they're doing right now is sports games and Star Wars games.
Of the Star Wars games that are left.
Yeah, I mean, I think if Anthem doesn't do well, BioWare is next in the chopping block. Especially after like Mass Effect Andromeda. And their continued reliance of like Frostbite everything is a failure. Like, that is not a good game engine for certain game genres, and they refuse to accept it. So games suffer.
For the game genres that they do well in, they do work.
Well, hey, Frostbite is a great first-person shooter and game engine. Like, I'm not going to deny that at all. But, like, that was one of Andromeda's problems, was it ran into such a headache with Frostbite that they barely got the game running.
Yeah, I don't understand why Mass Effect had to run Frostbite. Like, they couldn't just have it run its own thing. Like,
well, it used to run Unreal, and EA, their mandate now is every game must be Frostbite. It's like, that's not a good, you idiots. Like,
yeah, not for that anyway. I mean, it seems to work well for sports games. It seems to transition fine too. Like, I'm sure Need for Speed will be fine. When it comes out, and
I doubt it, because like the last few Need for Speed games ran on Frostbite, and they weren't great at all.
But was it because of it being on Frostbite, or was it because it was just like kind of empty?
Well, Frostbite played a part for sure. Like that was like they also built them on to be online, really stupid shit like that.
Yeah.
But like, I remember reading something about, I forget what game it was, but it was a non-shooter from EA, and I think it was a racing game, like one of the first Need for Speed games. And Frostbite was so broken at the time that they could only, like, the only way Frostbite could recognize player input was from the point of view of a gun. So, in the cars, there were gun models in the car, basically saying like this, like, the car is built around a gun so you can control it. That's nuts.
That's, yeah. Basically shows that they made that engine for one thing.
Yeah,
And
and
then
they've tried
tried to model it and stuff.
like they've tried to bolt shit onto it, and sometimes it works, but most times it doesn't. And there's just too much company momentum to like recognize that it's not working out.
I mean, I get the whole, like, we don't want to have to pay Epic for the Unreal thing where we can save money, but how much are you really losing compared to then not getting games made because of that? Because that seems to be the main reason why this wasn't, this was shuttered, was basically, okay, we'd done this for 2 years and they weren't meeting whatever dates or anything else that EA was saying.
Well, who really knows about this game? Like, it may have been terrible, or they may have only had like 10% of it finished, or may have taken 5 more years to make or whatever. Like, it's just I would say it's worrying from EA, but I think they're too far gone at this point.
Well, I could understand the whole point. Like, there's got to be a reason why Anthem is the way it is, right? And so they probably see this and they probably see Destiny and go, well, we are the sci-fi kings. We have freaking Star Wars. Why can't we make a game like that? And I can understand that point. I mean, you did have your own MMO, or you still do. It still exists. And then you have Battlefront. You're basically merging those two things into one game. I mean, I don't know why you couldn't just make Battlefront into, that, but it's fine. I mean, by the time this game comes out, though, in like 2021, 2022, are we still going to be caring about Destiny the same way we care about it right now?
Well, by
I
then
mean,
Destiny 4 will be out, so maybe.
no, but that's what I'm saying, though. Like, if EA is going to wait that long to get into the party, you might be wasting your time by the time you get it.
Oh yeah.
It's whereas like we're still seeing. I mean, like Wolfenstein 2 does not have multiplayer at all,
Yeah.
and so
That
this is a
might
big
make me more
company.
excited for it.
I agree with you. I'm very excited for it as well. If it wasn't because I know I can't review more than one game at a time, uh, I would have taken Wolfenstein 2, but I sent it off to one of our other writers. But it's like I love the first one, and because it was mainly story based and let
Yeah.
you focus on that and not like, okay, well here's this thing that's 5 hours, and hopefully you enjoy the multiplayer.
Like I'm racking my brain. I can't think of the last single player EA game.
What's ironic too is that they keep putting single player into the sports games,
Yeah. Some of it works, but some of it doesn't.
like having these elaborate stories in there,
Yeah.
and they're basically like telltale stories, really. But uh, yeah, I can't think of that was an actual EA game and not like Unravel or something.
Yeah, I was gonna say Unravel, but that was an EA Partners game or something, so that doesn't really count.
There's that even that A Way Out game is co-op basically. So
Oh yeah, the prison game. I mean, I look at that. That's something different. Like that's not like multiplayer. Like that is.
that's like the Brothers game.
Yeah, but that's not competitive, or that they're not. They're not going to microtransaction to death. That's not like buy new loot box and get a epic shiv. Maybe like Dragon Age Inquisition.
Yeah, I guess, but I wonder what the I'm trying to think. All these games that I'm looking at are all some kind of like Army of Two.
Oh no, that had a multiplayer. That
Well,
was
Dead
co-op.
Space, right?
Yeah, but Dead Space 3 had it.
Well, Dead Space 2 then? When did Dead Space 2 come out?
Yeah, that came out in 2012? Maybe 2011.
That would have to be it. And,
Well, Dragon Age Inquisition came out later than that. That was 2014. But
yeah.
still, that's not exactly a glowing endorsement.
No, but if you think about it, like, they made their name on Battlefield and The Sims, multiplayer stuff, Medal of Honor. So, stuff that wasn't necessarily, it was meant to be played by more than one in, I guess, in unison with people or multiplayer focus, I guess. So, do they really have a great history of making single player games?
Well, The Sims is single player, but they did before, like they used to.
Yeah,
I actually asked, do you know who Greg Kasavin is?
Yes.
I asked him on Twitter a few days ago, like, he worked on Red Alert 3.
Right.
Like, 10 years ago, basically. And I asked him because that game has co-op for a campaign. And it's kind of weird, because you can play the game alone, but the computer controls, like, the other character. And it's like, this is slightly odd. But I asked him, like, was this like an EA mandate, or did you guys just do this on your own? He was like, we did it on our own. It's like, well, that's fine then, but now it seems to be like an EA mandate.
This certainly doesn't help EA's like whole worst company in America thing. I always thought that was really overblown, but it just doesn't. I don't know, right? Like we don't know. I think Jason Schreier came out and said that it was more of the game wasn't meeting whatever they wanted it to.
Yeah.
And
Which
not like they just woke up one day and went, you know what, we're gonna do Star Wars Destiny. We're closing this thing, right?
Yeah, I can believe that as an answer. Like the game just may not have been what it should have, or Amy Hennig, like she might be a good game director, but she's not like a programmer or anything. Like the game engine might have been bad, or I think Jade, what's her name? Jade Raymond. Yeah, she worked on it also, because she was the head of Visceral, or she was running it at the time. And there's been no mention of her either, which is strange.
Well, she's the one doing EA Motive.
Yeah, but she's also running Visceral, so...
Right.
And
well, they closed the studio now, so,
Yeah. I assume she's still at Motive. But, yeah, look, I can believe that as that's... sometimes games get canceled, that's fine. Another game just got canceled recently also. But like their whole like line about we don't want to make, like they basically say we don't want to make single player games anymore. And it's like, well, that's fine because I don't want to buy any more EA games. So I guess we have reached an accord.
Yeah, that makes it to where I sort of don't necessarily want to buy EA games either. Even though in all of this they did, studio producer did announce that the story mode in Battlefront 2 takes anywhere from 5 to 8 hours to finish. So it'll be sort of like the Battlefield 1, Titanfall 2 in that area, which makes sense for a shooter game. And they might make free story DLC, but that's up to everybody and how they, I guess, like the story in Battlefront 2.
And about how many boxes you buy in Battlefield 2.
Yeah,
everyone needs to buy 20 loot boxes to get quote unquote free single player DLC.
Yeah, exactly. If they're not making money on this, they're not going to invest the money to keep making story DLC for free.
No, they'll just write it off and make Battlefront 3.
Hey, I guess why not? If it keeps making money, just keep doing it, right?
Oh, Mirror's Edge Catalyst was a single player game.
I forgot about that, and that game just died a death.
It was decently well made, but no one, everyone was like, you should make a Mirror's Edge sequel. It's like Mirror's Edge wasn't a great hit to begin with.
It was really one of those like cult hits. I mean, they
Yeah,
made the
but
game, right? I mean, they could have not made Mirror's Edge Catalyst, I guess, but I credit for that, but it also felt like, okay, well, here it is, and we're sort of almost like ashamed of it because we're just throwing it out here and we're not really promoting it.
yeah, to be fair to Mirror's Edge, though, it took about a year for that game to get heavily discounted. It took Andromeda about 9 months.
And yeah, Andromeda was also a much bigger game. They got a bigger backlash because of
But that was supposed to be the dawn of a new era, new trilogy and all this other crap. It's like, well, that really turned out well for you.
that did not happen at all for you, EA. So that really sucks, I guess. But hey, lesson learned, right? I guess now you don't have to do single player at all. Just do more multiplayer stuff. Which, hey, if that Star Wars Battlefront 2 story is good, I don't know. I might play it if the game goes down in price, but I'm not paying $60 for that.
Just red box it or rent it for a
Yeah,
weekend.
technically you could, I guess. If it shows up in Redbox, just rent it for a weekend. Stuff that will not be showing up in Redbox. The first 13 Xbox original games that are backwards compatible. They came out on Tuesday. They are at 1080p, and they are going to be up-resed for the Xbox One X as well. So, if this is 9 times the frame rate, it'll be 30,000 times the frame rate for 4K. So, I mean, if you're really looking forward to playing original Xbox games on your Xbox One X, here is Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic, Ninja Gaiden Black, Crimson Skies, High Road Revenge, Fusion Frenzy, Prince of Persia: Sands of Time, Psychonauts, Dead to Rights Black, Grabbed by the Ghoulies, Sid Meier's Pirates, Red Faction 2, Blood Rain 2, and King of Fighters Neo Wave. That's actually a pretty good list of games. You can buy some of them for $10 in the store. If Ninja Gaiden Black appears, I might buy that. I loved that game. And Crimson Skies as well. You can actually still do System Link. Even with an Xbox One and an original Xbox.
Because everyone except for me has a bunch of original Xboxes hanging around.
I know that's actually interesting that you can do that though. That's kind of cool. No online multiplayer, but you can do the System Link, so that's.
I thought Crimson Sky was supposed to have online multiplayer.
They might, but this is, I think, for most of them, something like Fusion Frenzy, where I think people would love for that to be there. That really makes no sense, honestly. If you're gonna bring Fusion Frenzy back, and you're not gonna have a way for people to play this without System Link, I mean, whatever.
Yeah. This is cool, but half these games you can either get on Steam or somewhere else, fairly easily.
True.
And there are some weird picks from this list.
Yeah, I agree. The Red Faction 2 is weird.
Well, that's a bad game.
Yeah.
I was gonna say King of Fighters Neo Wave. I had looked that one up. I was like, what the fuck is this? and like Dead to Rights in black. It's like, I guess.
Why not, right? I think I do think it's good that they came out and basically said like, look, don't expect that you're going to get every single original Xbox game because
Oh God, no. Right,
some
like
of these
rights.
game publishers don't exist
Yeah,
anymore.
rights are lost, or something like yeah.
Some of the contracts were actually done on notebook paper.
Like I
Like,
would love it if I would love it if they got like Jet Set Radio Future. That'd be a great game. Death Row, I love that game. I'm the only one that does. The Buffy games were good. That's kind of about it.
I'd imagine KOTOR 2 will come
Yeah,
later. That would probably mean that Jade Empire also comes later.
great.
I know you hate that game.
Like I imagine like Panzer Dragoon Orta probably,
Oh
or like
yes, I want that, please.
the Atogi games, which were actually pretty decent.
Hmm.
But there's not a ton of like original Xbox games that are people are like clamoring for.
Yeah, like I wouldn't expect like the NFL 2K5s and that kind
No,
of thing either. So even though I'm sure there will be people that probably want it, like Madden would be like, nope, not happening, folks. Sure, they shut that down pretty quick, but it's still cool that it's happening, right? It's still um, there, and you can even do it on the Xbox One X. So
yeah,
if you're paying your $5.99 for that, then you can play the whole library. So that's uh, that's good for them, I guess. So of course the MPDs. This is around the time where this stuff comes out, and the Nintendo Switch is the top-selling console for September 2017. It has now sold over 2 million units in the U.S. I think they said global sales is around, I want to say close to the 5 million mark, 4.7. And it's actually Nintendo hardware has two-thirds of the month's total because of the Super NES Classic and 3DS. In
yeah.
fact, I think if the Super NES Classic was like new, actually I think it sold more than the Switch this month. So,
That doesn't surprise me. Like nostalgia is a powerful thing.
oh yeah, we saw that with Crash, right, where it was on there for like 2 days and it was number one still.
Yeah,
So, Mario Rabbids was 7, Zelda was 10, and Metroid Samus Returns for the 3DS was 8. Destiny 2 is number 1, NBA 2K18, and Madden and FIFA, all those sports 18s. NHL 18 is even on here. Uh,
I'm surprised Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite's on here.
why? People are going to buy that when it first comes out. It's buying it after that.
Yeah, like the first month after it comes out, maybe, but that's about it.
Grand Theft Auto 5 and Rainbow Six Siege still here.
Yep.
It's amazing to me. Especially Siege, like that game, I know people just absolutely crapping on that game when it first came out, and then all of a sudden, here we are.
I think they really turned around with their season 2 DLC. Like surprisingly, they actually did it well.
See, credit to Ubisoft for doing stuff right.
Too bad they couldn't fix the Division, the one I actually liked more.
I guess they will tell you that they're still trying to, but
I think all the Division DLC is going to be free like this year or like next year or whatever. But I think people just abandon that game.
wouldn't be surprised. Doesn't help with Destiny being out there as well,
Yeah,
taking people. Nintendo also had their system update, which introduced video capture. You can do it for 30 seconds, which works great for Twitter and all, but I think people would probably have wanted it for longer, but then you're also using a system that has a really limited amount of memory, and even if you're using your SD card, do you really want to fill it up with that stuff? So they are exploring to make it longer. I think it's kind of a neat idea. Like if you do something cool and you want people to see it really fast, I don't think people should have expected that you'd be able to do like the PS4, where you can just record for however long you want.
Yeah,
Uh,
that wouldn't have happened because I imagine most of the Switch horsepower is going to like the games, not some like behind the scenes recording feature.
yeah, and like even Xbox doesn't let you. You can record like up to 15 minutes at a time. So,
Yeah,
you know, I kind of expected that. It didn't surprise me at all when that was announced. But hey, you can, because of the USB dongle, you can use wireless headsets, or not headset, wireless headphones, uh, and you can use GameCube controllers with this thing. So if you don't want to go out and buy any more Joy-Cons, or you don't, if you have GameCube controllers laying around from like Smash Brothers, and don't want to buy that Pro controller, you can use those. So that's, I know people that really hate the game controller, so maybe not. I like that controller. Did you like the
GameCube.
GameCube?
No, it was too. I thought it was too awkward and too like not symmetrical.
Yeah, you had the like where you had to have your thumbs. There's like way too many buttons.
Well, the buttons were like
Uh,
in this weird circular pattern too, which didn't help. Like
yeah, it was a
it,
weird groove.
it's funny people really shit on the N64 controller, but I thought that was fine. Like honestly,
The C buttons were a bit hard to get to sometimes.
yeah, but
Like,
like so few games used them, honestly. Like, or they
yeah,
used them
like
as like
the wrestling games and Smash Brothers.
yeah,
I like the 64 controllers. I don't, I think people, yeah, they crap on it a lot, but hey, we have analog
yeah.
because of that. So, I know you're sort of interested in this. I like them too, but it's always been awkward for me to get into these. The Atlas has officially confirmed that the Shin Megami Tensei game that they announced for Switch, which is also coming to PS4, is Shin Megami Tensei 5. It's actually the next game in the series. So that's actually pretty cool. It will come out sometime in whenever, but there's no word on when it's getting localized for the West. So I guess we'll have to wait and see on that. But are you excited for
I mean,
SMT5?
I'll say sure, but I've actually never played a Shin Megami Tensei game by itself. Like I've played Persona or like the Nocturne. That was that was kind of connected, but not really. Or like the Devil Summoner games,
Right.
but they're all spin-offs of Shin Megami Tensei. Like they have like stuff like Jack Frost and shit in them. But so I guess we'll see. Like I'll give it a shot when it hits PS4 if I can get it. But
I didn't play I didn't play 4 enough to really be able to say much on it, but
it reviewed well. Like people seem to like it.
I felt like you really had to know how to play that game to be good at it, because the demon thing is not always the easiest. The recruiting the demons thing is
Yeah,
not. Yeah, that's the part from like Persona that I was like, okay, I can see why this is harder in the actual numbered games than in
yeah.
here.
And sometimes it is kind of a random system, but I still enjoyed it. Or there are ways to like kind of game it a little, especially in like Persona 5. But I appreciate that mechanic to say like just by itself.
Well, you gave me a great segue because Atlas is bringing out a Persona 5 Ultimate Edition, which is available, I think, now.
Yeah, it's already
Uh,
out.
$125, you basically get all the DLC costumes, background music. You'll get the original Japanese audio track, a skill card set, an additional difficulty level, the game, obviously, and a healing item set. So,
Yeah.
that,
Well, a few things you just mentioned are already free. So, like the Japanese language track and like the skill and healing item set were free. The cost for this thing is $125. Fuck that.
that's a lot for some costumes.
Like I paid $100. I think I paid what? No, I paid $80 for the collector's edition,
Right.
and that came with physical shit. Like, like there is a bunch of, you do get a bunch of like extra personas from like the old games, or like you said, the costumes from like, well, if you like the character, you can get the Persona 3 costumes, Persona 4 costumes, but this is too, like, that's too much. If this thing was like $80, that'd be one thing, but not even for 100, it'd be too much.
I
But
mean, and the personas are cool and all to get, but it's like, okay, you're gonna see these a couple of times, and it's gonna be like, oh, no big deal.
well, Japan has always had a really weird like pricing structure when it comes to DLC, especially with costumes.
Yeah, I see it all the time for the DOA.
Yeah, that's what I was going to bring up. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, it is a free to play game, so I mean there is that, but there is literally over $1,000 of DLC for Dead or Alive 5 last round on Steam.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Like I have the game. I bought it like a GameStop when they were doing a 2-for-1, and it was like
Yeah,
$17 or something like that. And yeah, when I would go in to play it, it would show me the DLC, and it's like, holy crap, this is a lot. Like, wow, how many costumes? And they still come out with some.
oh yeah,
So
like
yeah.
it's on sale right now because like the promotion, or, the
Well, the winter sale's about to happen pretty soon, right?
well, no, it's like a Halloween promotion.
Okay.
But so their Halloween costume set, it's on sale for $13. The
Jeez.
no, that's the sale price. The original price, or like the normal price, is $65.
You mean the game?
No, the costume set.
You sure it doesn't include the game?
The game is free.
How the hell would you pay $65 for a costume set?
Yeah,
Or why? What? What does it include? Something special that we don't know about? I mean, like you get the nude mod in there too. Like it's like what? What are you
there
paying $65 for a costume set for? I mean,
there are 51 Halloween 2014 costumes.
51?
No, 30. Yeah, 51 costumes. 31 Halloween costumes, and then 20 additional costumes for Marie Rose, Phase 4, which is a great character name, Hanoka, and Naotoju.
Like, would you even have time to sit there and keep changing the costumes around to see them? It's just, good
Well,
lord.
it's Dead or Alive, and it's Dead or Alive fans, so costumes is what they care about. It's not the fighting engine. It's seeing the characters in a Santa outfit or a sexy maid outfit or something.
And people wonder why the Extreme Beach Volleyball 3 or whatever never came here.
Yeah.
Alright. I digress. So remember when Nintendo was going to come out with a bunch of different games on mobile? Well, they're here to remind you that, hey, Animal Crossing Pocket Camp is still coming out. And basically, they had a whole direct for this thing. You're not going to be managing a whole town. You're going to be managing a campsite. So you can go gather cotton and wood, and you can craft furniture for the campsite. And you can also make it easier by earning or buying with real world cash. There you go. There had to be that thing where you could buy it. Leaf tickets, which you could use to shorten the crafting time or get items easier. Yeah, it's Animal Crossing. So if you like Animal Crossing, go for it.
If you like paying Tom Nook with blood money,
Basically,
that's the hidden subtitle. Tom Nook, pay him.
you have to invite players. You have to exchange in-game player IDs. By the way, so just letting people know
At least it's not
that
a fucking number.
yeah, the stupid friend code thing. But hey, I mean, it's good to know that Nintendo is following through on the mobile game stuff. It seemed like this one was just out there forever. Uh, Speaking of, well, it's mobile. Sony did say that they wanted to go back to doing mobile games, but they even went a step further. They have a new studio that they made underneath Sony Music called Untied that is basically just there to publish indie games across not only on the PC but Switch as well. So the first one is going to be Tiny Metal, and it's going to come out on PS4, Switch, and PC on November 21st. It's a turn-based strategy game that sort of looks like Advance Wars, and it also has. They're going to be making a couple of games that are going to come out on PC. They're going to make a game that has PSVR support.
Well,
Interesting that if you're going to that far to make a game for Switch, why not on Xbox as well?
there's two things. If Nintendo's not going to make an Advance Wars, Sony might as well.
Yeah.
And I think, like, Sony not partnering, but doing this for Nintendo's, I don't think Sony sees Nintendo as in the same ballpark as Microsoft.
It also could be a way of getting back at Microsoft for partnering with Nintendo on the Minecraft thing and like Rocket League and all that too. Like, oh, we can form our own thing with Nintendo as well. Microsoft. You know,
Yeah.
I
But I mean, sure, why not?
I mean it's good because I think people have been complaining about. Okay, well, there's a lot of focus on all these games from Sony, and uh, the VR is sort of getting a lot of play now, especially with the new SKU that's coming. But where are the indies? Where are the indies? Well, I guess now you have your story about where are the indies. I guess.
Yeah. I mean, this is probably also pretty limited. Probably a limited thing. Like, they're not going to be porting Uncharted 4 to the Switch or anything like that. But
No, probably not. But
I
hey,
mean,
it's Nintendo's been loving the indies right now, so.
and it's like another revenue stream for the Switch. I mean, for Sony, I should say. So, sure.
Microsoft is no longer making the Kinect.
Good night, sweet prince.
I did enjoy the Kinect for the time that I had it. Like, it was nice to play Dance Central, and I wish I would have been able to have it long enough to play Fantasia because I've heard that game's actually pretty cool. But
I mean, let's be honest. The Kinect had 4 good games for it total. Those were Fantasia, the one you mentioned, Dance Central. I think the Sesame Street is fine. Like, I've heard that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
And Child of Light.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah. And a lot of just stuff. So, I thought the Fable game wasn't too bad on it.
Yeah, but that's what kind of killed Lionhead.
Yeah, doing that game. But,
like, they just never got around. Like, the fact they put it in, like they bundled it with the Xbox One, it's like that was baffling to me.
I got it from the idea of the entertainment center thing, right? When they were making a big deal about that.
Yeah, and not instead of the pivot, now the pivot, like we have the most powerful gaming console in the world. It's like, okay, still no
Could
one
have
wants
done
to
that from
make
the beginning.
like no one still wants to make games for it. So
Yeah, I get you. I mean, what's coming out in like a week and a half? So
yeah, and there's all those hot exclusives like insert blank here.
literally insert blank here. Literally. It's gonna be oh, you can play PUBG in the game preview. Cool. That's literally it. Like
Yeah,
I oh, you can get Forza in 4K. Okay. I really I'm gonna be really surprised if this thing is sold out everywhere on November 7th. I will not be surprised if there are many stores reporting, look, they're just sitting here.
I mean, I think I'll probably sell it like the first day, but that's about it. And even that, it's pretty shaky. Like it may like I don't know, like it may sell out because I think it did sell out on Amazon for like a little while, like their pre-order page
Did
went
the
down.
PS4 Pros really sell
Not
like
really.
that?
No, I don't think this will sell either.
I mean, that's the thing is like, okay, number one, this is $100 more,
Yeah,
and you're really, I mean, you get something out of it for a regular HD TV, but if you don't have a 4K, then you're wasting your time, and yeah, that's, I don't
like
know.
I think the PS4 Pro has been kind of a failure, um, because they haven't really differentiated it enough from like. There's no real reason to buy it unless you have a
Right,
4K
right.
TV. I mean, there are some. Like I think that WWE game runs better on a Pro slightly than the regular PS4, but I think it's going to be the Xbox One X is going to be the same thing. Like people are just going to go, I'll get the cheaper one.
Yeah, all the games are coming to it, so why not? Why spend the money?
Yeah.
Uh, Speaking of spending money, Lego Dimensions no longer getting any new content, so you don't have to worry about any new stuff coming out and figuring out where your money's going to go because we will not be producing any new expansion packs for the game beyond what is now available. We'll continue to support the game's servers. Uh, so at least they're not just shuttering everything that Disney Infinity, but feels like only a matter of time.
I mean, they kind of are.
Well, I mean, like, they're not just saying, oh, well, we're going to cut the servers and everything. You know,
Well, I mean, they're not. I don't. There are servers. Like it's all story based stuff. Like the difference between this and Infinity is they're not closing down Traveler's Tales because they still make those Lego games that sell. So of course they're not shutting
why
that
don't we
thing.
have a Star Wars game for the Lego?
Because Marvel, it's Marvel's turn.
Oh, okay. I guess. Yeah.
I think they're making like a new Lego Marvel game. Like I think it's coming out this year.
Yeah, the
Avengers
Lego
2.
Marvels 2 or
Yeah. Um, it would be exceedingly nice. I doubt they'll do this, but it would be nice if after like the officially like in like Dimensions is done, but it would be nice if they released like a PC version or just even like a PS4 version, or just had all the crap in the game, like
you
on
mean
like
like
digital.
Disney Infinity where if
Yeah.
you bought the stuff you could use the characters in the
Well,
game without.
after Infinity shut down, they released Disney Infinity Gold on Steam, where it just had everything in it, and you could play
Oh,
whatever,
yeah. It would be
which
nice,
is
yeah, because
nice.
they did have some good story stuff in the Lego Dimensions.
Oh
So,
yeah, like I'd want to play like that Doctor Who set for sure, or
yeah.
like the Simpsons set. I think there's one for that, and there are some good
There's
sets for Dimensions. Like just release like a collection on like just digitally and go, here you go, here's it for $60.
It does kind of suck that they did have a 30-year plan and didn't get to actually go through with it.
Yeah, from what I understand, like it costs a lot to make this figure first off.
Right, yeah.
And they banked a lot for season 2 on like Ghostbusters. And it's like,
And
all right,
Beetlejuice and
yeah. Well, Beetlejuice is still popular. Ghostbusters was not.
right.
Yeah, and they're still making Lego games to be like separate from that. So that took time and money. Like and Traveler's Tales isn't that big.
And they also like didn't do a great job of like really telling you had to go online to find out how to build the set and all that. I mean, that seems kind of annoying for people.
Also, compared to compared to Infinity or even Skylanders, like Dimensions was an expensive game to get into.
Mm.
Like
Yeah,
that
because the stuff was more expensive, right?
Yeah, and even the base game was more expensive. I think Infinity was $80 at launch, and Dimensions was I think 100 or like damn near 100.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true. I do remember them saying that all these packs are gonna be worth it because you get more stuff in it, but it's like, is it really? It's.
Well, it's always the thing about like, they saw like I think they saw value in the figurines like more than than Infinity did, which is accurate, honestly. But yeah, Lego Dimensions launched at $90, which is kind of pricey.
Yeah, oof. It was
Like, and
already expensive at $75.
They never sent us copies, or they never sent like smaller size copies of that crap.
No. But I think they also, I guess, were fine with whoever bought it. I don't know.
Yeah,
I
like
think the only thing that they try to hook people on is that, we're not going to change, like, we're not going to have a Lego Dimensions 2 and 3 or whatever like Disney Infinity did. So.
yeah, but here, like the Lego Batman movie story pack, what they call, that was $50.
Woo! No, thank you. No, thank you.
And you get like I think it's 2 characters, a new a car, and some level. Like, no.
Yeah, because the Disney Infinity sets for $30.
Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of, you could see the writing on the wall because this was starting to get like super duper expensive for people.
And even, I mean, there's no reason to buy the amiibos. I mean, they keep making them, but I think Nintendo just. I think they just had figurines just to have them.
Well, no, for certain ones, like for like Metroid.
Oh yeah, they unlock certain stuff in games. I mean, sure,
right.
But like it's not like, oh, I have a Waluigi amiibo. He's gonna work in Star Fox. It's just like, no, the 3 Star Fox amiibo is gonna work in Star Fox, and that's it. Or the the Zelda amiibos are gonna work in that.
Right. I've always found, like, I have my Pikachu amiibo, and that's about it.
Yeah.
I never bought another one. And
I got one for a friend, and that was it.
I might buy Cloud if I ever see it, but
You don't want the Yarn Yoshi?
I thought about that for Anaya for a little bit, but I didn't even have the game. So
Yeah.
Yeah, and I have a Jack Skellington for Disney Infinity. He's the only one that I kept.
Yeah.
But,
like that's fine.
well, he's like one of my like favorite characters.
Yeah,
and stuff.
he transcends like Disney. So
Yeah, so like, well, I had to hurry up because they were getting to the point where they weren't gonna let you trade those in anymore. So I
Yeah,
had to hurry up and freaking let them have them uh, so that I could get something out of them.
yeah.
And
Like when
yeah,
Disney Infinity was folding up, I should have sold all my crap, but I still have it.
no, by that time they were done taking them,
Yeah,
and they wouldn't even take the Skylanders ones anymore either.
yeah.
Like,
Like this local resale shop I go to for like movies and games. Like I think it's like if you buy one Infinity figure, you get 4 for free.
oh wow, it's so crazy. Like I remember when the second one was coming out, the superhero one.
Yeah.
And I watched the lady like painstakingly put all the characters that they had at the time in on the shelves and everything else, and she's like, I hope these sell out because like this is a lot of shelf space we're giving to this thing.
Yeah.
So, and I remember going to Toys R Us and half their aisle was like half their entire thing at the front was like Skylanders and all that, and then all of a sudden, bam, they were dying for people to buy them.
Oh yeah.
So Doctor Who, their companions were finally the companions for Jodie Whittaker finally revealed. Uh, you get Bradley Walsh from Law and Order UK, who's going to play as Graham. Tosin Cole from Star Wars: The Force Awakens. He is going to be Ryan, and Mandeep Gill will be Yasmin. So those are your three main companions for Jodie Whittaker. So you got an older white guy, a sort of I guess she covers the Middle Eastern uh, sort of, and then you have the black guy from Star Wars. So yeah, diverse cast. That's cool. Um, who know? If we're gonna have somebody hitting on the doctor, the female doctor here, or it's gonna be all one like big happy family the whole time. Of course, fall 2018 is when the new season 11 is gonna start airing. You excited for female Doctor finally
Yeah.
appearing here?
Well, I don't know about having a team aspect, like because this is 4 characters, and that's kind of stretching it a bit thin. uh,
Well, they had three for when Matt Smith was around.
yeah,
Yeah,
that was 3, and like the two of them they were married, so
they had three for the last Doctor.
yeah.
So
But the only thing that is putting me off slightly is I think I read a report recently that she's going to get a new sonic screwdriver, and it's like he literally just got one like a new one 2 episodes ago.
well, I mean, it's a new. I guess she wants to change her own sonic screwdriver. That doesn't bother me too much.
Did you ever see? Let's see if I can remember what it was called. Stephen Moffat did this was before he was on Doctor Who officially, but he did a comedy thing for Doctor Who called the Curse of the Fatal Death. This was like 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Did you ever see it?
No, I did not.
One of the premises like the Doctor keeps dying, and like one time he regenerates into like Hugh Grant, and like another time it's something I forget it's something else. But the final time he regenerates into a woman, uh, and then she pulls up the sonic screwdriver, and it starts like moving around, and she's like, "Oh, I just discovered the vibration setting." It's like, oh man,
Wow. You said this was how long ago?
this was like 96. This
Oh, okay.
was 99.
That's okay at that point, yeah.
And I think another joke was like kind of making fun of the Dalek bumps, and she going like, "Oh, I have those things on my chest."
Oh my God. Yeah, you couldn't do that now. You'd have way too many people saying things.
Yeah,
But hey, it's fun there for those times.
it's
But
online. Like you should watch it. It's pretty funny.
I will probably do that tomorrow. But yeah, it's just I'm glad for the I'm good. Just kind of glad for the season to come on, and hopefully she does well so that people can stop with their sexism and all that crap.
Well, it's always the same cycle of like outrage about who's announced, and then a period of like slight turmoil or like adjustment, and then people fall in love with the actor, and then they leave, and then the cycle begins anew.
Yep. Yeah, that's what kind of keeps Doctor Who fresh. Someone doesn't stay forever and ever doing it. Disney XD is bringing the Big Hero 6 series. Finally, there's going to be a movie November 20th that takes place after the original movie called Baymax Returns, which I'm excited about because I loved Big Hero 6. And then the show finally starts airing next season, or next year at some point. They're going to have little on-demand things and some episodes on their uh, Disney Now app and all that stuff. I'm excited for this to show up. It's been a while since I watched one of their Disney. I watched DuckTales here and there, the new one.
I've seen
Uh,
that. I didn't keep up with it, but it was good.
I liked it. I thought they tried to, for the most part, stay true to the original.
Yeah,
So,
I'll definitely watch the one with Darkwing Duck.
yes, that needs to hurry up and get here, but I hope the Baymax one is good. They're getting the whole original cast back together, so that improves it immensely. So, yay. We'll be
Now they just
happy
didn't
to.
need to make fix a Wreck-It Ralph TV show.
Oh, please let it happen. That'd be amazing. Can we do that?
Every episode is just like a new game.
Why not? Let's just do it. Come on, Disney. You're into a kick about your whole like slot on Disney XD from like 9 to 6 in the morning is game stuff. Why not? Let's do it. Netflix is going to be spending $8 billion in original content, including 30 anime titles and 80 movies, original movies. No wonder they're making us pay more for Netflix. Jesus Christ.
I mean, you say that, but also I would assume the majority of that shit is actually going to be good.
Oh no, I agree with you. Like most of their anime has been good. I don't know about the movies. I haven't been a big fan of the Adam Sandler stuff.
That's been
But
bad.
so something like Bright with Will Smith, The Irishman with Robert De Niro, and of course you got the Shaft movie and all that. I mean, those might be good.
Yeah, we'll see.
Man, that's a lot of stuff. Plus the TV shows. I don't know how anybody would have time to watch all of that, but
Yeah,
you go Netflix.
I have that problem right now. I've got too much shit to watch.
I can hardly keep up with the stuff that comes out every week. So.
Yeah, I pretty much dropped Supergirl.
Oh, you did? Are you
It's
still
not
keeping
bad.
up with the?
I'm keeping up with like the Flash and Legends of Tomorrow, but even that I'm kind of skipping around with.
I really enjoyed like the Good Doctor, and that's
Yeah, I watched that too.
God, that is so House. Like it's like everything is just.
I mean, well, I got the House Complete Series DVD like 4 days ago, so I've been watching a lot of that.
But you can tell, right, when you watch it, like all
Oh yeah,
the characteristics are there. I loved House a lot, so like I think it's really cool that they take it into a different direction with him. But yeah, good that that's there. I've been enjoying The Gifted. Are you?
No, I watched the first episode, and then that was kind of about it.
I like the last episode. I thought kind of took him a step forward a bit. Um,
I've been keeping up on Star Trek Discovery, even though it's kind of a bad show, and The Orville.
I keep meaning to go back and watch the episodes of the Orville, and I forget. I've watched like the first 2 or 3.
If it was just a straight Star Trek show, it'd be way better. Like,
so why do you think it's not? Or you mean the Star Trek show itself, or the Orville?
No, The Orville. If it like the two pilots are really annoying and like very Seth MacFarlane-esque.
Well, yeah.
Like if they were gone, it'd be a much better show. Like I enjoy the show more when it's kind of playing it straight than when it's making jokes or trying to be funny.
I agree with you there. When it's trying to be a show and you learn about the characters, that's interesting. When it's him and the woman going back and forth about their relationship or whatever, it's kind of like, okay, you guys have done this like every episode. Yeah.
Yeah, like that's getting a little tiring. Like I think they have a decent relationship, honestly, but them constantly bitching about it is annoying.
Yeah. Of course, This Is Us. I keep watching it and keep almost crying every episode. So that's what that show's supposed to do. So, I've enjoyed the Ghosted show. It's dumb, but
I watched the first episode and kind of it's like, Craig Robinson and Adam Scott could be even better.
they're good together. It's really dumb, but it's fine.
Also, like, is it me? Like, is it me or has like Allie Walker really gotten old?
Yes, she has.
No offense to her if she listens to this somehow, but like. I remember her from like The Profiler or even like Sons of Anarchy, which is Anarchy was 10 years ago and The Profiler was damn near 20. But
well, some people don't always age gracefully, I guess.
Or the cinematic masterpiece of Kazam.
God, boo. All right, so everybody already knows that Super Mario Odyssey, Wolfenstein 2. And Assassin's Creed Origins comes out on Friday. I don't think we need to tell anybody that. It's pretty much been plastered around everywhere. It's been a known thing for like ever. Or at least since whenever they announced Odyssey, and it felt like everything else just kind of fell into place. But yeah, so if you have $180 plus, you can get all 3 of those awesome games. And then there's also Deer Hunter Reloaded. That's already out. I know you want to play that, Mark.
Oh, yeah. It was funny. Adam offered me a game called Elex on Steam.
Yeah, I've heard of that.
And I was like, nope. Well, he sent it to me, like, I didn't say I wanted it. He just sent it to me and said, I hope you have fun. And I was like, I hope you die in a fire. Like, I'm not taking this game.
Like, how dare you assign me something? No, it's not happening.
I played Risen 3. That was enough. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, after you play that, it's like, no need. Knights of Azure 2.
Yeah. I actually thought about taking that one, and then I looked at the reviews, and I was like, nah, I'm good.
Is it worse than the first one?
I've heard it's remarkably so, actually. Like,
wow.
You can't change weapons or like the little servants you get in the game, like, or in the mission. So if you need a servant to like knock on a wall and you don't have it, you have to like quit the mission and like reload.
Oh my god, that's annoying as hell.
Yep, that's good game design.
Yeah, I would just stop playing at that point. That Night Terrors game, the second Yomawari game, which I really enjoyed the first one. Stephanie has that for review. And Destiny 2 on PC came out on Tuesday. So, yeah, some good games. Call of Duty will be coming out in a week and a week? Week and a
Yeah, I
half?
think it's next week or something, yeah.
And then after that, you kind of hit a dip like Need for Speed and Battlefront 2, and that's then you get Xenoblade at the beginning of December, and that's kind of it. So, I mean, this has been an incredible year of games. I don't know what we're gonna do when we get to the picking, the top 25 or whatever again, but jeez. Yeah, so that's gonna do it for us this week. We will be back at some point next week. Well, I'll get to talk to you about Super Mario Odyssey, and maybe
I may
Mark
talk
will
about
get to,
Assassin's Creed, yeah.
and yeah, so look out for that. Yeah, I'm like eagerly awaiting getting home from work on Friday so I can just go straight into playing some Mario.
Yeah.
But all right, everybody, if you enjoyed what you heard, please hit that subscribe button. Video Games to the Max, or you can subscribe to the whole darn thing that I'm in several shows on the WTM Network, and of course you can check all that out on WTMNet.com. Thank you for 41 Mania for also hosting us as well as the Last Word Life section that they have. They are partners over there as well, and yeah, until next week, we'll see you later, everybody.
Later.
The following podcast is a W2M Network original production. Visit W2Mnet.com for all of our other great podcasts, plus news, reviews, articles, and opinions from the worlds of wrestling, video games, football, and entertainment.